here against Drew Smiley. 3-0, and he blasts this one deep right center field, and that one is gone. His 8th home run of the season. And just like that, it's a one-run game again, 3-2.
This is Bryce Harper, the 2021 NL MVP. At 29 years old, Harper has been in MLB for 10 seasons and is a 2-time MVP. In 2022, he'll be entering the 4th year of his 13-year contract with the Phillies, presumably as an MVP candidate once again. Harper has had quite a strange career in the sense that before Harper signed with the Phillies, it was difficult to decide where to place Harper among the league's elite players. Yes, he won an MVP in 2015 and was fantastic in 2017. However, the rest of his tenure with the Nationals I'd personally characterize as above average rather than elite, which made the Phillies' long-term commitment to Harper that more significant. But then I realized Harper will be entering the 2022 season at age 29. Despite being in the league for 10 seasons. It's not too often you see players make their big league debut as a teenager, but not only did Harper make his debut at age 19, he was arguably the most hyped up prospect of the modern baseball era. Or, in the eyes of Sports Illustrated, Harper was gearing up to be baseball's LeBron.
Chance for the Fighting Irish to build on a 9-point cushion. Johnson down low. That's what they all came to see. Firing up. And he banks it home.
Dubbed the chosen one before stepping foot on an NBA court, LeBron James was drawing in national audiences to watch his games on ESPN at age 17. He signed a $90 million contract with Nike before even being drafted, so calling a 16-year-old player baseball's LeBron is a huge deal. But how did Harper earn this title? Well, as a 15-year-old freshman catcher, it's said that Harper hit a home run with a distance of 570 feet. This ball would have had to not only leave the stadium, but cross 5 lanes of traffic to the other side of the street. Then the following year, in a high school home run derby at Tropicana Field, Harper hit a ball 502 feet. As far as I can tell, no player in MLB history has hit a ball over 500 feet at Tropicana Field. Of course, Harper was using an aluminum bat to hit these 2 home runs. But when All-Stars and MVPs are being questioned about a 16-year-old kid's home run, they've reached a new level of hype. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Harper also threw a fastball at 96 miles per hour. Remember, he was 16 years old, not quite at the Steven Strasburg level of pitching hype, but still enough to raise more than a few eyebrows. It was certainly enough for one American League scouting director to say a 16-year-old Harper would be a top 5 pick, but a National League scouting director said this was wrong, because Harper would be taken in the top 2 instead. I mean, when a projected top 5 pick says they aspire to be a Hall of Famer and be considered the greatest player to ever live, it's probably a good idea to take note of them. Nonetheless, Harper was still a couple years away from graduating high school, so it's going to be a long wait. But what if there was a way to join the draft before graduating? Well, with the help of everyone's favorite agent, Scott Boras, they devised a plan. After Harper's sophomore year in high school, he earned his GED and joined a junior college for the year, which exposed Harper to better competition. And more importantly, no more aluminum bats for Harper. No way he hits a 500-foot home run with a wooden bat at age 17. Well, I don't know if any of the home runs he hit were over 500 feet, but 31 home runs in 66 games is a pretty solid return, especially when the school's previous home run record was 12. Also, in the Junior College World Series, in a particular game, Harper went 6 for 7 and hit for the cycle. And the following day, in a doubleheader, after a 2 for 5 performance in Game 1, he went 6 for 6 with 4 home runs in Game 2. These performances reaffirmed what scouts had been seeing. I mean, before the season, Harper was ranked as baseball's top college prospect, despite not even finishing his first season. This was the same teenager who at the age of 9 was being called by multiple travel ball teams to play for them. And by multiple teams, I don't mean teams around the Las Vegas area. I'm talking about teams from different states. Harper played for all of them. In fact, one time at the age of 12, he played in a tournament in Alabama. Harper went 12 for 12 with 11 home runs and a double. This was the moment where his mom, Sherry, knew his son was on a path towards stardom. Also, Harper was a star on the USA Under-18 team in the Pan American Junior Championships, a tournament where the US won the gold medal. Harper, along with high school prospects Manny Machado and Brian Reguera, were named to the All-Tournament team. There were many familiar names on the USA team, players like Nick Castellanos, Kevin Gausman, and Robbie Ray, but Harper was the biggest star of them all. After all, he was the MVP of the tournament. So, with all the hype in the world, Harper was finally eligible for the MLB draft in 2010. And just 1 year after the Nationals took Steven Strasburg, they selected Harper with the first overall pick, with the intention that Harper moves to the outfield in order to accelerate his path to the big league team. However, Harper still has to sign with the Nationals, and Harper is a Scott Boras client. Boras also represents Strasburg, who signed with the Nationals to a record-breaking 4-year deal worth $15.1 million. Although this contract was signed 77 seconds before the deadline. It was the same story with Harper. With a minute left until the deadline, Harper signed a 6-year deal worth $9.9 million. Nonetheless, all that mattered was that Harper was finally a professional baseball player. And it didn't take long for Harper to get acclimated to his new surroundings. In his first stint of professional baseball at 17 years old, the second youngest player in the history of the Arizona Fall League at the time, Harper crushed it, which led to him becoming a top 3 prospect heading into the 2011 season. Interestingly, he started off slow to begin the 2011 season in A-ball. Well, the reason why was peculiar. Harper went in for an eye exam and was told by the doctor that Harper had some of the worst eyeballs he had ever seen. Imagine that. This whole time, Harper has needed contact lenses and was still a #1 overall pick. Well, these contacts certainly helped Harper for the rest of his stint in A-ball, although he did struggle in AA, which is fair considering Harper was 18 years old, over 6 years younger than the league's average age. To begin the 2012 season, Harper was moved to AAA. Like the previous year, Harper didn't start off the season well. Still, with Ryan Zimmerman being placed on the IL, the Nationals were left with no choice but to call up the 19-year-old for the game on April 28, 2012 against the Dodgers. However, it wasn't like Strasburg's debut, where he had everyone in Nationals Park chanting his name. Harper was debuting on the road, and while the Dodgers aren't a rival of the Nationals, the crowd had something to say.
Making his major league debut, left fielder number 34, Bryce Harper.
Well, at least Strasburg experienced some of the booing too, since he started this game. So this game was a glimpse of the future for Nationals fans. Their 2 consecutive #1 overall picks have made the big league squad. And just to make this a bit more fun, someone at Bleacher Report actually predicted what would happen in each of Harper's at-bats. Well, one thing he got right was how many at-bats Harper had, a total of 4 at-bats. Let's see what happened. After being booed by the away crowd, Harper grounded to the pitcher for the out. But the way Harper hustled the first base certainly would have made Jonathan Papelbon proud. As for the prediction, it was wrong as Harper did not strike out. Not much happens for the next few innings as both pitchers are dealing. Although I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't show this great catch and double play by Jerry Hairston. It certainly beats Harper's first career putout. Unfortunately, the outcome of Harper's second at-bat wasn't much different, and once again the prediction was wrong. The game continued to be a bit dull. That was until Adam LaRoche hit a solo home run to put the Nationals in the lead. A couple batters later, Harper was at the plate.
On a pitch up, he rams it to center, way over the head of Matt Kemp, and Bryce Harper digs his way into his first major league hit.
While this hit didn't lead to anything, it showed that Harper deserved to be in the position he was in. Well, in the next half inning, Harper had another opportunity to show why he belonged.
Easier take. Harper with the arm, and the ball gets away. Ramos dropped it.
A perfect throw that Wilson Ramos couldn't hang on to. It would have been a great highlight for Harper, but now the game is tied. Fortunately for the Nationals, they didn't give up any more runs in the inning, but they wouldn't put a man in scoring position until the 9th inning. Once that player went into scoring position, guess who came up to the plate?
He hits it to left and he hits it hard. Is Ankiel. That throw is way short. and the Nationals take the lead.
Just like that, Harper's first big league RBI allows his team to take the lead in the 9th inning. An outcome that was kinda predicted in the article. However, he was on the money when it came to the stat line, as Harper had an RBI and a double. Although the sacrifice fly made him 1 for 3 instead of 1 for 4. Nonetheless, the Nationals now have the lead. A lead that was added onto by Wilson Ramos. Henry Rodriguez was brought in to close the game. Very quickly, it was apparent that the Dodgers had a chance to come back. After a hit by Mark Ellis, he went to second base on a wild pitch, and a James Loney single put runners at the corners. Then Juan Uribe hit a ground rule double to left field. Despite a strikeout and putout at home, it was another wild pitch that allowed the tying run to come in. And to make matters worse, the Dodgers were down to their final strike. Rodriguez even struck out Tony Gwynn Jr., but he still made it to first base. Eventually, the game would go into extra innings, but before Harper had the chance to hit, this happened. The day could have ended better for Harper and the Nationals, but at the very least, what Nationals fans saw was a 19-year-old hitter who was Major League ready and a 22-year-old pitcher who was just beginning an all-star season. Harper ended up winning the Rookie of the Year that season and has gone on to accomplish great things in his career. So the question is, did Harper eventually become baseball's LeBron? Well, I wouldn't say Harper is quite in the GOAT conversation like LeBron, but Harper will go down as one of the best hitters of his generation. The hype Harper created during his journey to MLB is something very few players ever experience at such a young age. The fact he stands today as one of the game's best players is a huge achievement. Yeah, his debut could have gone a bit better, but what's more important is that he's currently on pace to achieve one of the goals he set when he was 16. The question is, what will Harper do for the rest of his career to accomplish this feat? I hope you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like if you did, and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching.